Hello, my lovely YouTube yoga friends. Welcome back if you've been here before, and just welcome if you are new around here. I am Amy, and today I will be taking you through a challenging, funky, fun, advanced yoga flow with a special focus on balancing. So balancing on our legs, on our hands, balancing our mind, our body, all that good stuff. So just a little note before we start, I would be super grateful if you would subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. You can like this video to let me know that you enjoyed it, and I would absolutely love any comments with any thoughts, requests or suggestions. Every single comment on my YouTube channel just lights up my whole entire day, and I really do mean that. So without further ado, let us begin today's practice. We will begin with some breath work today. So grounding into our practice by connecting to our breath. We'll be balancing in our body today, and we're going to start balancing our nostrils with some alternate nostril breathing. So if you've not done it before, you can use any hand configuration that works for you. I personally use my thumb and my index finger. I seal my right nostril with my thumb, breathe in through my left nostril, seal my left nostril, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right, seal the right nostril, breathe out through the left, and then back in the left. So whichever one you've just breathed out, you're breathing back in and then switching sides. So I'll talk you through it and then give you a few minutes to do it on your own. So setting yourself up, softening the eyes if that feels comfortable. Take one final deep releasing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Seal the right nostril, breathe in through the left. Seal the left nostril, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Seal the right. Release the left. Out through the left. In through the left. Seal the left. Release the right. Out through the right. In through the right. Seal the right. Release the left. Out through the left. In through the left, seal, release the right, breathe out. In through the right, seal, release the left, out through the left. Keep going for a few more rounds at the pace of your own breath. The next time you breathe out through the right nostril, release the hand and just take 3 more deep breaths in and out through the nose. As you are ready, roll over onto the knees, uncross the ankles, plant the hands on the earth, spreading through the fingers, stacking shoulders over elbows, over wrists, hips over knees. As you're ready, inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, exhale, round the spine. Inhale, lift the chest, keep the gaze straight ahead, exhale, arching up towards the sky. Fill the lungs as you drop the belly and shine the collarbones forwards, and empty the lungs as you draw the hips and the chin in towards one another. Inhale, lift, exhale, round. Take a few more at your own pace, moving fluidly from one move to the next. And I'll start to take the movement into the hips, wiggling them around in circles, going in one direction and then the other direction. Maybe pausing if there's any areas that feel particularly tight today. And I'll maybe take circles with the spine, dropping down to the earth and then rounding back up. Switching directions. Come back to your neutral tabletop position and just take a few moments to feel into the wrists, rocking the weight backwards and forwards. Just taking it as far as feels comfortable in your body. So there will definitely be sensations when we're moving into the wrists like this, but we'd never want to be moving to the point of pain. Turn the fingertips to face outwards and shift the weight from side to side. Turn the fingertips to face towards you, wrist creases towards the front of the mat, and rock the weight back and forwards. You can tuck under the toes here if you haven't done so already, kind of acting like a little break as you move back. And release, come to just sit on the heels and give the wrists a little shake out. Maybe interlace them and take some circles with the wrists. Just finding what feels good. Come back to your neutral tabletop position. On your next breath in, extend the right arm and the left leg forward and just take a moment to hold here in your spinal balance. Sending energy out through the left toes and the right fingertips. Engaging through the core, finding one nice long line of energy. One more deep breath in, extend even further, and then breathe out, round everything in. Inhale, extend, exhale, round. Inhale, extend, exhale, round. Two more, inhale, extend, exhale, round, extend, and round. Now fill the lungs, extend, and this time reach the right hand around for the big toe side of the left foot and start to kick that foot up towards the sky. It's still early on in our practice, so you might just kick a few inches. Your pose might not look anything like mine, and that is absolutely okay. Option to challenge your balance here by hovering the right toes off the mat, hovering the right shin off the mat, so balancing just on the left hand and the right knee. You might fall out and try again. As you're ready, release back to your spinal balance one last time. Drop the left knee down, keep the right arm extended. Inhale, open that right arm all the way up to the sky. Exhale, thread it through underneath the left. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread it through, hover. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread it through. This time come down onto the right ear and the right shoulder, using that left hand as a lever to push you into the twist. Option to lift that left arm up and wrap it around for the inside of the right thigh, opening through the chest and the shoulders. If you took the bind, release, bring the hands to press together at heart center. You can interlace the fingers if you want to. And then the option to challenge yourself to put all of your weight onto the right shoulder and the right knee, so no weight on your head and neck at all, and then start to lift the left toes to hover off the mat. Maybe lift that leg. Maybe you come up just onto the right elbow. Maybe you are collapsing onto the floor right now and finding your way back to join us in whatever version of the pose you have found yourself in. Another deep breath in here, and breathe out, release, unravel yourself back to a tabletop position. Just take a moment to reset, reconnect to your breath if you lost it. On your next breath in, extend the right leg and the left arm straight out in front, leg out behind. Take a moment here to find the balance, to find the energy. Another deep breath in, reach even further, and breathe out, round everything in. Inhale, extend, exhale, round. Extend, round, 2 more. Get nice and long and round everything in. Last time, extend, round it all in, and this time we extend and then come into swan pose. Kicking that right foot up towards the sky, opening through the chest and the shoulders. Notice whether you're locking out your right elbow, and just try and soften it to protect the joint space there. So finding a little baby micro bend. And the option here to find even more of a challenge by hovering the left toes and the left shin off the mat, maybe just a few centimetres. Release, back to your spinal balance, drop the right knee down, inhale, sweep the left arm all the way up to the sky, exhale, thread it through. Inhale, reach, exhale, thread it through. Fill the lungs as you lift that arm up, and empty the lungs as you come down onto left ear and left shoulder. Either stay here or find the bind, reaching right arm for left inner thigh. Send the breath deep into the belly, into the side body. And if you've got the bind, unwind. Bring the hands to press or to interlace at heart centre. Put all of your weight onto that left arm. Lift the head and neck off the mat so there's no weight on the head and neck. And maybe start to hover the right leg off the mat. Maybe lift the left shoulder. Take a moment here, play around with the balance. Find the playfulness if you fall out of the pose. And release everything down. Come back to your nice neutral tabletop position. Maybe just give the hips a little wiggle, the shoulders a little wiggle, just feeling into the body. Tuck under the toes, lift the knees to hover off the mat and hold here, connecting to our core. Once again, micro bend those elbows, make sure they're not locked. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then straighten those legs. Adjust your stance if you need to, sending the hips up to the sky, downward facing dog. So you might need to walk the hands and the feet away from each other to find that nice alignment. Drawing the heels in the direction of the earth, but they do not need to reach the earth. And just take a few moments to find what feels good in your downward dog. Maybe you bend and straighten one leg at a time. Maybe you wiggle the hips from side to side. Maybe you lift the heels and drop them to one side and then the other. Another little challenge for our balance. Root down through the right foot. Start to lift the left hand to hover off the mat and reach it around for the right ankle. So finding a twist here. And the extra challenge is to start to hover the left toes off the mat. Maybe just a centimetre, maybe an inch. Maybe you start to fly them all the way up towards the sky. Really, really rooting down through the right hand and the right foot. and then drop that foot back down. Release, plant the left hand back on the mat, and then bring the right hand onto the outside of the left ankle. Maybe you stay here in the twist, or maybe you root down through the left side as you start to hover the right foot up towards the sky, or maybe just a few centimetres off the earth. Either way is fantastic and fabulous. Once you've played around, release that foot back down, release the hand, and just shimmy those hips from side to side. On your next breath in, sweep the right leg up towards the sky, and breathe out, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. One more time, reach that foot high. Exhale, tap it to the nose. Hold here, tap it to the mat. To the nose, to the mat, to the nose, to the mat, to the nose, and then step that foot through in between the hands. Get really heavy in that right foot. Inhale, reach the arms up, crescent lunge. Front knee over front ankle, engaging through the glutes here. Option to challenge yourself by lifting the right heel off the mat, coming high up onto the right toes, and just holding here. Reaching the fingertips up towards the sky, but softening the shoulders away from the ears. Option to take some little pulses with that left knee, so bending and tapping it towards the earth for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo, that got my legs burning. Either with the arms up straight out ahead or at heart centre, launch your way into a warrior 3. Lifting the left toes off the mat. Chest is parallel to the earth. Arms out ahead will give you definitely much more of a challenge. And once again, we've got the option to take some pulses for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to your warrior 3 and then sweep the left foot through. I'm going to have to adjust where I'm standing. Left foot through into a standing staff and finding the strength here to pull that leg through. So it would be easy to just bring the hand to the foot and hold the leg up, but we are finding the strength in that leg, and your leg does not have to be as high as mine. It might just be a few inches off the mat. Now, without using your hands to help, can you bring the sole of the left foot onto the inside of the right leg into tree pose? The foot can be on the inner thigh or the calf. Just make sure you're avoiding your knee. Deep breaths in and out through the nose here. Option to challenge yourself a bit more by closing the eyes, really feeling into the wobbles in that right leg. As you're ready, release from your tree pose, extend that leg back out in front, hold, 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 and then cross the left ankle over the top of the right knee, bring the hands to heart center, bring left elbow to the knee, right elbow to the sole of the foot. Here in our standing pigeon, opening into the hips here, finding a nice long spine. Now bring the hands down onto the earth, play around with your flying pigeon. So bringing the left knee to the left elbow and the left ankle to the right elbow. Finding the hook, finding the balance, and then flying the right toes up and away. Drop the right toes to the back of the mat. Keep the left ankle crossing over the top of the right knee. So we're in a downward facing dog, but with the left ankle crossing over the top of the right knee if you got lost there. Now let that left foot carry on wrapping around that right leg into eagle legs, here in an eagle downward facing dog. Root down through the right hand, lift the left hand off, spin onto the outer edge of the right foot, come into a Vashisthasana, Garudasana, so side plank, eagle situation. Root down through the left hand, spin round to the other side, pushing those knees towards the back of the mat. And bring both hands down onto the mat, come up onto the right tiptoes, and then start to walk the hands back towards the feet. Right foot comes down onto the earth if it was not already, and then reach the arms up at the back of our mat, left leg wrapping around the right, eagle. Arms reaching up overhead. Now unravel that left leg, extend it straight out in front, and then challenge to lower down into a pistol squat, finding the hover of the left leg above the mat, bending into the right knee. And now challenge yourself to launch into a low lunge on the left leg. So drop the right knee down, bend into the left knee, and then step that right foot back towards the back of the mat, low lunge. Bring the 2 peace fingers and the thumb to interlace around the left big toe, and then open up into a side plank with the bind around that left foot. Release the foot. Can you keep that leg lifted? And then bring the foot to meet the other, dip the hips down, lift and dip, lift, dip for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come into your plank, work through a chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Whew, that was a challenge for me. So if you are sweating and struggling, you are definitely not alone. It's very hard to talk while doing all of those things. So let's all reconnect to our breath before we move on to the second side. On your next breath in, sweep the left toes up to the sky. Breathe out, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Last time, deep breath in, reach that leg up. Deep breath out to the nose, hold, tap it to the mat. To the nose, to the mat, to the nose, to the mat, to the nose, and then step that foot through. Finding your alignment before using your next breath in to rise up into your crescent lunge. Holding here, finding the strength in the legs, and then option to challenge yourself to lift the left heel off the mat, coming up onto the left toes. High as you can or high as you want to. And then option to take those dips with the right knee for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back up to crescent lunge, then either with hands at heart centre or out in front, lower that left heel, launch into a warrior 3. Find your alignment, finding one nice long line from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. And taking whichever arm variation works for you. Then option to take those pulses on that left leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to your warrior 3 and then sweep that right leg through, standing staff. And we'll hold here, finding the strength in that right leg. Feeling into the shakes, feeling into the wobbles, finding the strength. Take one more deep breath in. And then make your way into tree pose, hands free if you're up for that challenge. Of course, you can use the hands to help you if you want. And And just take a moment to ground here in our tree. No balancing class would be complete without a good old tree pose. Maybe you play around with closing your eyes, even if it's just for a single second. And as you're ready, on your next breath in, extend that right leg out long and then cross the right ankle over the top of the left knee. Bring the hands together at heart centre and take elbows onto sole of foot and the knee. Just take a moment here to feel into that stretch in the outer right hip. And keep that right foot nice and flexed back towards the knee, toes nice and active. As you are ready, start to bring the hands down towards the earth and then hook that leg over the backs of the arms and maybe fly the left foot off the mat for a flying pigeon. Play around with your flying pigeon. And then drop the left toes to the back of the mat, send the hips up to the sky, right ankle stays crossing over the left knee for a pigeon, downward dog kind of vibe. And then let that leg carry on wrapping around the left for an eagle dog, pressing the chest back towards the thighs. Roll onto the outer edge of the left foot, root down through the left hand, reach the right arm up and overhead, eagle side plank, and then bring the right hand down, spin onto the inside edge of the left foot, press those hips back, bend into the knees, and then bring both hands down, start to walk yourself back to the back of the mat and rise up into eagle legs at the back of the mat, arms up overhead. My legs are absolutely shaking right now. One more deep breath. And unravel the legs, extend right leg out in front, hold your staff for just another moment and then lower down via a pistol squat. Hold that right leg hovering off the mat and then make your way into a low lunge on that right leg, popping the left foot off the mat. Grab hold of that right big toe and then open yourself out into Vinyasa with the hold on that foot. Release the grip on the foot, keep that leg lifted and then drop it down for those 5 dips for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spin back into your plank. Work through a chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Hold here in your upward facing dog. Take the gaze over the left shoulder, stretching through the neck, back through center, back to the other side, and then wave yourself back to your downward facing dog. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Inhale, sweep the right toes high and hold them here. Root down through the right hand and the left foot this time. Start to hover the left hand off the mat. Reach it around for the right foot. Start to kick the right foot up to the sky. So like we were doing in our swan pose earlier, but this time we're doing it from our downward facing dog. And release. Rock your way forwards into a 3-legged plank. So keep that right leg lifted. Work your way through a 3-legged chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, sweep the left leg up to the sky. Root down through left hand and right foot. And start to reach the right hand for the left foot. Kick it up to the sky. Kick, kick, kick. Oop, maybe fall and come back into the pose. And release the right hand down. Rock your way into Ekapada Chaturanga. Work through a one leg. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Now drop the elbows down onto the mat, lift them back up, drop them down, lift them back up, working through some dolphin to dog push-ups. Keep it going, either lifting both elbows at once or doing one at a time, but making sure you alternate which one you lift first. If you're joining me in the push-ups, bring both elbows down to the ground into dolphin and hold here, walking the feet in towards the hands. Then root down through the right foot, lift the left toes all the way up to the sky. Bring the left toes down, lift the right toes up to the sky. If Pincha Mayurasana is in your practice, you are very much welcome to kick your way into a pincha right now. Or if headstands in your practice, you can take a headstand. Or you can press up from the elbows and maybe kick up into a handstand. Just making sure you kick up from both sides. So just a little bit of inversion playtime. Headstand, handstand, forearm stand. Woo! Just play around. And then once you've had a little bit of playtime, we will all meet in a child's pose. Narrow leg or wide leg, whatever is calling to you. Just letting the blood settle after we've been upside down. As you are ready, slide those hands towards the front of the mat. Snake your way forwards into a plank pose and then back to downward facing dog. Start to walk the hands and the feet towards one another in the centre of the mat. Inhale, halfway left, halfway lift is what I was trying to say. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to Tadasana. Bring the hands together at heart centre and then rise up onto your tiptoes. Start to bend into the knees, lower yourself down into a toe balance. Stacking head over heart over hips here. Shoulders softening down away from the ears. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bring left hand to right knee. Right hand hooks around the outer edge of the left hip. Still balancing on our toes here in this twist. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twist to the other side. Feeling into all of those wobbles. Inhale, reach both arms up. Now exhale, bring both hands to the outside edge of the right leg. So planting both hands on the earth. Option number one is to bring the outside of the right knee to the outside of the left elbow and the right hip to the right elbow. Finding those 2 points of contact, lifting yourself to hover and then straightening both legs. You can stay around playing with that option, or you can just find the single point of contact, squeezing the knees together and bringing them to the back of the left arm. Side crow. Once you've had your playtime on that side, come back through centre, just take a moment for playing around on the other side. giving both options a try, going straight for one option or the other. Maybe you fall out of it and collapse into a pile of arms and legs. Totally cool. Find the fun in falling. Whew. Once you've had your time playing around on both sides, what would a balancing class be without a traditional crow pose? And some people find traditional crow is more or less difficult than the side crow version, so see how it feels in your body. Bringing the hands down onto the earth, bringing the knees up onto the backs of the arms as high up as you can get them, and keeping the gaze down at the earth, drawing the heels in towards the glutes. If you're here in your crow, you might play around with some toe taps, tapping one toe at a time down towards the earth. Or you might just hold. I'm getting friction burns on the backs of my arms, guys. The things you do as a yoga teacher. Option to just stay in your crow or to find the jump back, shooting your feet to the back of the mat, landing with bent arms in a chaturanga. Inhaling to up dog. Whew. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Once again, walk the hands and the feet towards one another at the centre of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to Tadasana. Then bring the hands to the hips as you exhale. Turn to face the long edge of the mat. Step the feet out wide. Heels point out, toes point in. Give those hips a little shimmy, a little shake out. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hinge halfway, coming down to a flat back, either with the hands on the hips or with the arms extended out overhead. If the arms are out overhead, you might take some cactus arms, so drawing them into the ribs, extending them again. Keeping it flowing. Finding some strength in the whole spine here. And you might be feeling it in the hips too. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend those arms overhead and then descend down into your Prasarita Padottanasana. Wiggle those hips from side to side. Option to walk the hands over towards one leg, give it a little hug, and then take it over to the other side for a little hug. Come back through centre, turn the right toes to point out towards the front of the mat, and then lunge into that right leg, stretching through the inner thighs. Fingertips on the mat at heart centre, or reaching up to the sky, or maybe take a bind around that leg. So many options throughout our yoga classes. You are always welcome to make stuff up, add stuff on, take stuff out. If I don't cue it, does not matter, you can still do it. Release, come back through centre, travel to the other side, either with the hands for support or finding the mobility and strength, finding the stretch on the left leg. Now back through centre, turn both toes to point out this time. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, sink it down into our goddess. Last little bit of strength in the legs here. Hold your goddess. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, straighten the legs. Start to bring the hands down towards the earth. You might walk the feet closer in towards one another. Just shimmy them in. Start to walk the heels of the hands so they're in line with the heels of the feet. Start to bend through the knees and bend through the elbows, and then shimmy the elbows underneath the thighs. Start to lift the legs off the mat, straighten them out. Tittipasana. Play around with your Tittipasana. You might just lift the legs just a few centimetres, just a few inches off the mat. You've got the Tittipasana option to play around with crossing the feet, hooking them together. And then release back, find the opposite cross. Open up to your Tittipasana and then drop yourself down. That was more of a plonk from me rather than an elegant descent, but you know, we can't win them all. Bringing those legs out wide. Maybe not as wide as you usually take them. We're going to find a bit more strength in the hips. I said the goddess was the last little bit, but maybe this is the last little bit. We'll inhale, reach the arms up, and just like we did in our Prasarita, we'll come down halfway, extending those arms out in front, really finding the strength in the hips and the spine here. So rather than just collapsing down into the fold, we're finding the strength first. Then once again, you can take those cactuses. And then maybe we come down and lift back up and lower back to hover, lift back up. Keep it flowing. Moving with your breath. One more. And then you are welcome to lower yourself down, widen the stance, soften the stomach and then the chest down towards the earth. So we always want our stomach to be coming down before our chest. Keeps our spine nice and long and nice and safe. Keep those feet nice and active even as we soften into this pose, so flexing the toes up towards the sky. On your next breath in, press yourself back upright. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, take a side bend over to the left, reaching the right hand in the direction of the left foot, keeping the chest nice and open and lifted up towards the sky. So if reaching the foot means that you collapse and hunch over, then don't bother, no need. As you're ready, lift up through centre and take that stretch over to the other side. Lift yourself back up, then swing one leg around to meet the other. Does not matter which way round. Root down through the soles of the feet, knees point up to the sky, fingertips extend out long, and slowly lower yourself down, keeping a nice long spine as you go. So not rounding and rolling down, but finding the integrity as we make our way down. Hug the knees into the chest, give yourself a big juicy squeeze. Keeping the hips and the shoulders rooted down into the mat. And then take any other moves that are calling to you before we finish our practice with shavasana. Maybe some twists, wiggles, some happy babies, well, a happy baby. And then once you've found whatever movement is calling to you, drop in for some stillness. And you might be resisting the stillness, but know that it is just as beneficial for your mind and for your body as the movement. So settling into any version of shavasana. I've opted for a Supta Baddha Konasana with the arms dropping up overhead. You can take absolutely any shape that your body wants to make right now. Any shape that will enable you to find some stillness. So we've balanced our breath through some alternate nostril breathing. We've found the physical balance in our bodies. And now it's time to find the balance in our minds. If our mind can be happy with movement, can we also find the comfort in stillness? As you relax into your shavasana, you might notice any areas of tension that are yet to soften. Try and bring your attention there and just imagine those places melting down into the mat. If you feel like hanging out in your shavasana for longer, then I very, very much encourage that. If you are ready to move on, if you need to move on, then start to bring some gentle movement back to the body. Again, just whatever movement calls to you at this moment, on this day. And then gently, slowly make your way back to a comfortable seat, keeping the eyes closed if that feels comfortable. We'll seal our practice with 3 deep releasing breaths. Inhale through the nose, out through the mouth. Don't be afraid to make some noise. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Open the eyes if you have not done so already. And thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I really hope you enjoyed it. Like I said at the start, it would make my whole entire year if you could like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I'll be practicing again with you very, very soon. I hope you have a wonderful day.